It's 5 p.m.
All right, quiet on the set.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're live. Let's start the party.
Broadcasting around the world.
Our broadcasting.
This is your number one internet station. The music you love right here, right now.
Our broadcast link.
It's another live broadcast. Special edition. Now your hosts, Rob and Jerry.
Hey, well, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is. It's all good, as we say, because you guys are here with us, and we're here with you on Polkas After Dark on Facebook Live.
And YouTube?
YouTube, yeah. And our broadcast link for at least a couple more days anyhow.
I was waiting for the C.
Yeah, no.
Because the little guy was walking past me, so I was waiting for the C to come up so I could say the C.
Oh, okay.
And then it wasn't. Never
wasn't
mind.
there.
It wasn't there.
It don't matter. It
don't matter.
Hey, but welcome, folks. We're going to have a fun time here this evening. We got some really, really great tunes coming up, but let's go ahead and start things out this afternoon with Lenny Gomulka and Chicago Push.
Zagrajcie Sirati Pagans, zagrajcie Watch Them Make Romance. Patrzcie jak tańcują i jak się miłują, hej frania tra la la la. Patrzcie jak tańcują i jak się miłują, hej frania tra la la la. Drink your toast today. Zagrajcie, let your cares away. Na zdrowie ciągle pić i troszkę odpolić. Hej, Jasiu, tra la la la. Na zdrowie ciągle pić i troszkę odpolić. Hej, Jasiu, tra la la la. Zagrajcie, sing a happy song. Zagrajcie, come on, sing along. Śpiewać pieśń będzie tak wesoło razem. Hej, Stasiu, tra la la la. Śpiewać pieśń będzie tak wesoło razem. Hej, Stasiu, tra la la la. Watch them make romance. Patrzcie jak tańcują i jak się miłują. Hej Zosia, tra la la la. Patrzcie jak tańcują i jak się miłują. Hej Zosia, tra la la la. Zagrajcie drink a toast today. Zagrajcie left your cares away. Na zdrowie ciągle pić i troszkę odpolić. Hej Rysiu, tra la la la. Na zdrowie ciągle pić i troszkę odpolić. Hej Rysiu, tra la la la.
the Chicago Push with Didi Ogrodny and also Mr. Ryan Joseph. Fiddling around there with a song called Zagrajcie Polka. Hey, that's off of their brand new recording, and if you don't have it, well, you need to get a hold of it. Hey, Jerry, why don't you say hello to some of the people already in our chat rooms?
I'm going to say hello to Donna Scott. She's with us already. And we have my brother Dan.
Okay.
And we have Chris Curtis and Maria Blasting, Bev Ceremit, John Sobchak, and Dave Lubovinsky.
Hey, okay, Dave Lubovinsky. All right. And also, it looks like Karen Kazuda Hamel is also with us. So Karen and JP, hello to you guys. Don't forget Marge when you mention John Subcheck.
Sorry.
Hey, but Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to all you guys. We'll be telling you all about an event that's going to be coming up for New Year's Eve. If you guys don't know about that, well, shame on you. Hey, but let's bring up a song by Frankie Lishka, TBC. He's on the stage right now. Here's one called Can I Count on You, Polka. Hey, also hello to Christine and Amanda Holchuk. Hello to Mark and Sherry Chapach from our PolkaJammerNetwork.org. You can catch them every Friday evening.
Can I count on you to always be in love with me? Can I count on waiting arms that wanna hold just me? When I'm really feeling down and feeling all alone, can I turn to you and count you as my very own? Can you put up with my silly insecurity? Can you say you stay with me for all eternity? If you feel this way, then come on, baby, let it show. I wanna take you, but it's something that I have to know.
Good afternoon to Georgianne Heavy.
Can I count on you to always be in love with me? Can I count on waiting arms that wanna hold just me? When I'm really feeling down and feeling all alone, can I turn to you and count you as my very own? Can you put up with my silly insecurity? Can you say you'll stay with me for all eternity? If you feel this way, then come on, baby, let it show. I wanna take you, but it's something that I have to know.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Are you going on a fishing trip or something?
No, I'm actually going to Puko Yashu's Big Polka Weekend in Independence, Ohio.
Get out! I heard about that.
It's on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day.
That's
but
right.
if you guys want to go, you better decide now. Reservations have to be made by November 15th.
Oh my gosh, that's coming up.
But if we leave now, we might make it.
Yeah, okay.
What else is going on there?
Well, Polka Family's playing, Polka Country and the Beat's playing. There's going to be some yoga, some bingo. Robin and Jerry and DJ Bruce are going to have their own radio show there. And we're going to go on some brisk walks with Puko Yashu.
Oh.
So if you guys want to come, I'm leaving right now.
You're going like this second?
Yeah, right now. We might make it if we leave now.
Let's hop on.
All right, let's do it.
Alrighty.
Hi, Polka friends, it's Sandy Earle. If you're still on the fence about deciding whether to attend the New Year's Eve extravaganza in Cleveland at the Embassy Suites with Polka Family, The Beat, and PCM, I've got the best reason of all that you should attend. What's that, you might ask? Of course, it's yoga. There'll be a yoga class Sunday morning at 10 a.m. And after you've been standing in front of the band all evening, on your feet, some of that in high heels, the muscles tend to get tight, your feet are sore, your back's achy. This is an opportunity to come and relax, do some deep breathing, stretching, and when you leave the yoga class, you'll be re-energized and refreshed so that you can really enjoy the Polka Family and the Beat on Sunday. So I hope you'll join me. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. And thanks for watching. Bye.
Hello, everybody!
Hey, everyone! We are so excited for the New Year's Eve weekend
Oh my
extravaganza.
gosh. We cannot wait to see each and every one of you.
It's going to be so fun. And if you don't have your tickets yet, make sure you're coming to Cleveland. It's going to be a blast. But we also want to remind you about something really fun. Sunday, 1 o'clock.
B-I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name.
That's right, bingo, 1 o'clock.
Cash prizes.
Cash prizes.
Oh my gosh.
We
Don't
love
forget to get
cash
your
prizes.
cards. Your cards are available at the table each and every day, so don't forget to pick one up. We have great helpers. Kayla and Emily are going to be helping us and joining in the fun, calling the numbers and doing some crazy stuff.
So don't miss it. It's going to be a blast.
We love each and every one of you. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your families.
And also have a very, very Merry Christmas. We're going to see all of you very soon in Cleveland for an incredible Polka weekend.
Woo! Can't wait. Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Yep, there's going to be a lot of fun because there's a lot of different activities. It's not just a regular polka dance, no siree, baby. Hey, that's New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Be there.
Frosty the Snowman was a jolly, happy soul with a corncob pipe and a button nose and 2 eyes made out of coal. Frosty the Snowman is a fairy tale, they say. He was made of snow, but the children know he could come to life one day. There must have been some magic in that old silk hat they found, for when they placed it on his head, he began to dance around. Frosty the Snowman was alive as he could be, and the children say he could laugh and play just the same as you and me. Traffic cop. He only paused a moment when he heard him holler stop. Frosty the Snowman had to hurry on his way, but he waved goodbye saying please don't cry, I'll be back again someday. Thumpity thump thump thumpity thump thump, look at Frosty go. Thumpity thump thump thumpity thump thump over the hills of snow. There must have been some magic in that old silk cap they found, for when they placed it on his head, he began to dance around. Frosty the Snowman was as light as he could be. And the children say he could laugh and play just the same as you and me.
A little bit of Matt Rosinski, Frosty the Snowman, off of his Christmas recording. Yeah, he does a solo project. I think he's done about 2 or 3 of them already, and man, what a fantastic job he does at that. Hey guys, if you're just joining us, this is the Sunday afternoon edition. And that is from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And at 5:30, we get to talk every Sunday with somebody very important. And today is none other than Mr. Steve Dudas Jr. He's going to be chatting with us all about his musical career with, let's see, he's played with Eddie Foreman, Tony's Polka Band, Stephanie and her Honky Band, whole host of bands, and he's going to be chatting with us live at 5:30 in just about, 16 minutes or so. So you definitely want to stick around for that. Hey, we're going to bring up Mr. Mark Chepach on the vocal. Here's one called In My Garden Polka. Good afternoon to Kenny and Carol Michalski, also to Jill Cerniak. Paul and Joni are back here again. Gluttons for punishment, aren't you guys? It also looks like Vinny Sosnowski, Vincent and Maria are here with us. Also Susan Swartz, hello to you, Susan.
Wyrosła mi jabłoneczka, koło mego ogródeczka wyrosła mi jabłoneczka, wyrosła mi jabłoneczka, koło mego ogródeczka wyrosła mi jabłoneczka, wyrosła mi jabłoneczka. Za mną ty latała, dziewczę, ty za mną latała, ależ mnie nie chciała. Jak za mną ty latała, dziewczę, ty za mną latała, ależ mnie nie chciała.
Let's hear from Tony's Polka Band. Here's one called Old Poland. Yes, sirree, that is Tony's Polka Band. Hey, in just less than about 10 minutes, we're going to be talking live with Steve Dudas Jr., and he's going to be telling us all about his musical career, and we may even get a chance to ask him how Dad is, Mr. Ken Michalski. He says, don't forget to ask him how Dad is. So we will do that. Also, hello to Diane Sim-Ceramit. She is stating here, holy smokes, we have 17 dozen pizzelles that are coming our. Hopefully she means 17 pizzelles and not 17 dozen.
Well, it just said that she got them done. She didn't say they were all coming to me.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Like we need any more starch in our diets. Holy cow. Hey, Linda, Chip, Jack, Merwin, we're going to say hi to Mom and Dad and also to Marty. He's tuned in. Alice Fischler is tuned in from Canada, and also it looks like Mr. Jason Flynn. He says, hey, finally home on a Sunday, enjoying the show. Well, thank you so much for that. Hey, now what?
She said 17 dozen, LOL.
Okay. Hopefully it's only 17. She's got 17 dozen done. You're right. And she's going to send us maybe about 6 or 7.
She said a few. She's sending a few.
Okay, good. Hey, here's the Polka Country Musicians. You'll be able to catch them live New Year's Eve with The Beat. And we've got a whole bunch of advertisements that we're going to mention, as well as that big raffle taking place on New Year's Day at 6 p.m. We'll tell you more about that in just a couple of minutes. But right now, here's Polka Country Musicians, a little bit of the merry-go-round polka. Oh, yeah, they are going to be on fire. You watch and see, Jerry. That is going to be The Beat, Polka Country on New Year's Eve, and then on New Year's Day, The Beat and Polka Family. Hey, folks, we are excited because right now we have a gentleman that I have known for quite a few years that he and I have had a chance to talk a little bit. But right now we have him live with us on Polkas After Dark, and I'm just going to say, hey, Steve, can you hear me?
Hey, Robin, good to talk to you once again.
Hey, same here, buddy. Thank you so much. And folks, we have Steve Dudas Jr. on the telephone. Hey, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong. You are residing in Amsterdam, New York, right?
Yes, Amsterdam, New York, which is about a half an hour west of Albany.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. And Steve, I'm going to ask you, just like I ask everybody else, all of these here questions. And we're going to start out with, how old were you, Steve, when you heard your first polka song? And I know you come from a polka family, so let's hear it, buddy.
Well, I think it's safe to say probably the day I came home from the hospital or probably the day after. So even at my earliest memories as a kid, there was always polkas going in the house. So I think it's safe to say like my entire life.
Beautiful. And how about instrumentation? Do you only play drums? Because I think I have a picture or two of you in here playing the accordion. Do you actually play accordion too?
Well, what I say sometimes, joking around, of course, I say I'm a drummer. The only thing musical I play is the radio. As far as anything else besides the drums, sometimes I like to think I'm an accordion player. I'm not great at it. My problem is between having a full-time job, having a house, having a 7-year-old daughter, it's hard for me to spend the time with the accordion that I would really like. I mean, I will love to, at least once a week, pull the accordion out and work with it. I have a friend of mine not that far from here by the name of Russ Patrician. Russ, years ago, played the band called Trumpets Unlimited, played with Jimmy Sturr.
Wow.
Last winter, Russ was working with me a little bit with accordion. But for me, I have too many irons in the fire, and it's hard for me to find the time to actually play as much as I would like.
Understandably so. So drums are your key instrument, correct?
Yes. Oh, definitely, for sure. Yeah. Yep.
Hey, Steve, also, do you have a personal favorite genre of music that you like to listen to when you're not listening to polkas?
Definitely country, especially old school country. Aside from old school country, I love oldies. Like the Beatles, the Beach Boys, a lot of 50s, 60s. I certainly enjoy classic rock. Like Van Halen. I'm kind of searching out for classic rock bands, but I guess I enjoy a lot of different types of music.
Gotcha. What was the very first band that you performed in? Do you remember?
That would have been probably around 1993, 94. I worked with a band out of the central Massachusetts area by the name of the Twin City Connection, and that was only a few years. And the band unfortunately kind of fizzled out, and so yeah, that would have been my first band.
Okay. And how long were they together, or how long were you with them?
Again, I probably only worked with the group for a couple of years. They'd been together for quite a few years. And then I got to know the leader of the band, Richie Arsenal, and then Richie happened to be looking for a drummer. And I would have been probably my junior or senior year in high school.
Oh, wow.
And again, I probably only worked with them for a couple of years.
Now, you have also, I remember seeing you, I think there's a video or a couple of videos floating around out there. Did you or did you not play with the New Brass in Michigan somewhere?
In Wyandotte, which to be able to perform with the New Brass and to be on stage with that group of musicians, it was just an unbelievable experience.
Yeah, had to be a head rush, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. It went by way too fast, way too fast.
And that band has always been a powerhouse, with the original drummer Roger LaQuala and Mitch Biskup. Man, when Mitch used to count those songs out, when he'd stomp his foot on the stage, that whole stage would vibrate, the dance floor would rumble, but you knew that when he did 1, 1, 2, that band came on, it was like an explosion happened up on stage.
Well, and not that long ago, I was talking with Mitch, and of course, praising the New Brass, which the New Brass, by and far, will always be my favorite band. They just have a special spot in my heart. And the reason I'm actually playing drums or wanted to play drums was because of Roger. I remember one of my earlier memories as a kid being at the Ludlow Polish Club and standing on the side of that stage and watching Roger play. And Roger he was like a machine. I mean, he was just rock solid.
Yeah.
And as a kid watching him play it, I remember thinking, even to this day, I remember thinking to myself, someday I want to be him. I want to be a drummer on stage playing with a polka band. I mean, Roger was just such a huge influence on me.
Yeah. On a lot of drummers, for sure. And again, he was a powerhouse. I mean, he was very tasteful. He'd lay back during the vocals, but man, when the horns came in and the boxes started to push, look out.
And Roger didn't need to be a fancy drummer. All he needed to do, like you said, just lay down a rock solid beat. Because when you had two solid horns, and even in the back in the 80s, so it was like 81, 82, up until they retired, you had Nicky Naito and Steve Swider on accordions.
Oh, yeah.
So having a drummer doing a lot of fills, it would have been way too much. Roger did what he had to do. He laid down a rock solid beat for the rest of the guys.
Yeah, here. And your father played trumpet. Steve Dudas Sr. played trumpet with the New Brass for the longest time. I got to ask you this. Did he play with the Golden Brass or not?
He was one of the original members, I'm saying original members with the Golden Brass.
Okay.
And then I want to say like 71, 72, they went from being the Golden Brass to the New Brass.
Okay.
And my father, with the exception of 77 and 78, where he played with the Peter Weintick and the Jolly Polketeers.
Okay.
Except for those couple years, he was with the New Brass from the beginning all the way to the end.
Man, amazing. And I know your dad and mom are living down in Florida now, right?
They are down in Florida. Dad still plays.
Oh, really? Who's he playing with down there?
He does. He's got his own group that he put together. Every once in a while, Joe O'Britis, we'll call him. Sometimes he'll play with Joe. But there's just so many good musicians down there right now. And there's times where my father will call me and he'd be like, I played at St. Pete or wherever he played. And, it was great. Richie Kurdziel played with us, or Ronnie Machushik played, or Mitch Kopinski was there. He's done a few jobs where he played with Jimmy Weber.
Nice.
Yep.
Hey, Stevie, have you ever recorded in a studio?
I have a couple times. I did actually 3 times.
Okay, with who?
I did a recording with Rick Petrowski in Orlando Polka Magic.
OPM, right.
Which I performed with that band from 1999 to 2002. And that's when I moved back to Massachusetts, which playing with that band was so much fun. But being on stage with my father, Rick Petrowski, Ron Pistecki, Ronnie played with the Versatones back in the early 70s. So that was a great experience. Wow. So I recorded with them.
Now, what was the recording? What was the CD or the album title?
It was OPM Y2K.
Y2K
was the name of the recording. And then later on, it would have been June of 2005, I started performing full-time with Tony's Polka Band.
Okay.
And I'm on 2 recordings with that band.
Okay. And what are they? Do you recall? Do you have them handy by any chance?
The one was Dance to This, and the other recording is Come and Listen.
Come and Listen. Okay. All right. Excellent. What studios did you record those in?
With Orlando Polka Magic, I believe it was in Orlando at if I remember correctly, so many years ago, I believe it was a recording school that we recorded at.
Oh, wow.
So it was, on one hand, we recorded I don't know if it was free, but at a really good rate. But we were basically there for the kids to learn how to do professional recordings.
Oh, wow.
So we were also there for the kids because it was a learning experience for them.
Sure.
As far as with Tony's Polka Band, Tony lives on a farm with his parents. They've got a dairy farm.
Okay.
And Hank Guzevich actually came to the farm, and he actually recorded us at the farm.
Oh, is that right?
Hank comes with his van with all his recording equipment. He sets all his stuff up in the barn. Well, when I'm saying in the barn, they've got a building on the farm.
Okay.
And Hank sets up all of his stuff, and yeah, we record right there at the farm.
Wow. Now, you and I got a chance to talk before this yesterday. No, I'm sorry, it was Friday night. And you were telling me, and I've seen pictures of this, clarify something for me. Do you have a farm yourself? Because I see a huge tractor and a picture of a couple of other tractors as well. Tell me a little bit about that, the story behind that.
I am basically a big kid. We live here, actually it's in the town of Florida.
Okay.
We've got 5 acres.
Wow.
But I come from a farming background. My best friend growing up lived on a dairy farm, which I was on that farm almost every day. And up until probably my freshman or sophomore year in high school, I spent every summer with my grandfather and my uncle. And down in southern New York, which would be Orange County, New York, actually where Jimmy Sturr lives, that's onion country. They grow a lot of onions.
Okay.
And my grandfather and my uncle used to grow onions. So I spent my summers on the farm with them. And then even when I lived in Massachusetts, I was working for, I refer to him as my Uncle Stanley, which is a close friend of mine, close friend of the family who grows used to grow potatoes and tobacco.
Okay.
So I've just got the farming in my blood.
Wow.
And so even though here we have 5 acres, and I wouldn't really necessarily say that I'm a farmer per se, but I just enjoy collecting or restoring antique tractors and antique farm equipment.
Those are your toys, in other words, right?
Those are my toys. Yep.
What's the biggest tractor you have?
I've got a 1964 Massey Ferguson Super 90, which I think is a 65 horse tractor.
Smokes.
So that'd be the biggest one that I have.
Wow. Now, you and I also chatted because you were kind enough to ask how we survived the snowstorm down here where we live that was just, 2 weeks ago. But you said that you have do you have a snowplow on one of those tractors?
I've got a 30 horse New Holland with a loader. And even though we don't get the snow like you guys get out in Buffalo,
yeah,
but there's no way with the driveway that I have, shoveling it, forget it. But even with a snowblower, it's too much to even try to snowblow. So
sure.
Yeah, I got a tractor with a loader, which is an absolute back saver.
Boy, you should have put that on the back of a trailer if you could have, and got that down here, because you could have probably made yourself probably 5 or 6 mortgage payments by the time you were done with all of this.
I saw.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I saw the pictures on Facebook, and it got me thinking. Thank God I have a tractor with a loader, because I don't know what we would have done.
Chapachas are on here too. Mark and Sherry, Polka Jammer, but you know Mark and Sherry from way back when, of course, with the Dynatones, and gosh, played with Happy Richie. Mark even played with the New Brass back then.
Yes, he did. He did.
But they're here, and they are not very far from us, and they too encountered a lot of snow. But listen, I digress. I want to get back to the polka music. Steve, do you have a favorite band that you never performed with, but you always wanted to, past or present?
Yes, both.
Okay, go ahead.
Definitely Lenny Gomolka and the Chicago Push, most certainly. I, at one point years ago, back when I was living in Florida, I was really looking to move back up north. And I, at one point, was really interested in actually playing with the Versatones. I think the Versatones, that would have been either just before Johnny Pilch had started with them or just after. And I think Johnny was kind of going back and forth, I believe, if I remember correctly, between the Versatones, and he was playing with Polka Country.
Okay, right.
And I would love to have had the opportunity to play with the Versatones.
Gotcha. So Lenny, the Versatones, anybody else?
Well, you really got me on the spot.
No, I don't want to put you on the spot, but we can always come back to that.
I'm going to get off the phone and I'm going to think, why didn't I say this band? Or why didn't I say that band? And just, especially when you go back to the 70s, even the 80s, there's so many good bands that again, I'm going to get off the phone later on. I'm going to think, why didn't I mention this band or that band? Or,
Yeah. Yep, understandable. Hey, do you have a most memorable gig that you played that was memorable either in the attendance of the crowd, the size of the venue, other bands that were playing alongside you? Do you have something that really sticks in your mind, Steve?
There's a few that come to mind. Definitely on the top of the list, playing Wyandotte, Michigan with the new brass. There was a couple years I played with Tony's Polka Band in Seven Springs.
Oh, wow.
Which, I mean, and that was back when they were still had, they had both halls going.
Oh, with Zip
So
and
we
Eddie,
played in the front hall. And I remember even back then, just what a great crowd there was. So playing Seven Springs with Tony's Polka Band. The other one that comes to mind is playing with Stephanie and her honky band at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. And that was back when Dick Pillar was running Polka Bration there.
Oh, wow.
So being on stage with her, with that band, and just looking across the hall, and even at Mohegan Sun, Dick Pillar got such a great crowd. So I would even say playing Mohegan Sun with Stephanie.
Gotcha. And I had the pleasure of performing with Focus at the Mohegan Sun, and boy, I'll tell you, you are right. What a crowd that
Yep.
place draws.
Yep.
Hey, so
Yep.
you've had a pretty wide musical career. You've played with Eddie Foreman Orchestra, EFO.
Yep.
Of course, you just mentioned Rico Petrowski with Orlando Polka Magic, and oddly enough, Steve, I'm going to see Rico and his wife and his grandson, his 12-year-old grandson, on Saturday at the Polka Booster Christmas party this coming Saturday. So I'll make sure that we get a chance and chat about you a little bit. But you've also played with Dave Gowronski's Musical Magic. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, so it was 2002 when I moved up from Florida. It was 2005 when I started playing with Tony's Polka Band. So it was about 3 or 4 years where Stephanie was calling me. Dave Gowronski at the time was living in Massachusetts. So I was working with Dave. Dave and Arlene, just two wonderful people. I really enjoyed working with that group.
They're our neighbors now, believe it or not, living not too far from Jerry and I. They're over in Eden, New York. So they're a hop, skip, and a jump from us as well. And I have to agree with you 100%. Top-notch people. They really are.
Definitely. Yep.
Hey, also, let's see here. How about, tell me who you idolized growing up. It could either be in the polka music field or another genre or just somebody entirely different. Who did Steve Dudas idolize?
Well, as I had mentioned earlier, definitely Roger Likfawa.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, and I know my parents are probably listening, but I would even have to say my father.
Yeah.
My father definitely was a big influence on me, aside from the fact that he played with the new brass. But from 1986 to 1996, my father played with the Eddie Foreman Orchestra.
No, I didn't
And I
know
used
that.
to go, especially probably from about 91, 92 up until he left the band in 96. I used to go almost every weekend with my father, unless, of course, it was a wedding or private job. But I used to go almost every weekend. And where at one point I was just sitting on the stage and just watching the band. And Pat Sis, you know Pat. Pat was
very
playing
well.
drums with Eddie. I used to study Pat. And then I kind of got out of my shell. And then I made really good friends with, because at that time there were a certain number of people that would go to the dances a lot, like Ray and Mary Ellen Szymanski, the Pritzkos, Blender Bob, my friend Chrissy Lukaszewski.
Oh, geez.
There was just a group of people that used to come to the dances all the time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm kind of maybe getting a little sidetracked.
No, that's fine. Keep it coming. That's great. That's why we have these interviews.
I'm sorry, just as I'm talking, just my mind is going in so many different directions because he really got me, I guess, reminiscing.
No, that's good. That's what we
but
like.
No, going to see Eddie, just that meant a lot. And even Pat was a huge help because my first drum set that I got, which would have been when I was in 7th grade, was a drum set that Pat Sis actually let me borrow till I could someday get my own drum set. So just having Pat say, here's a set of drums I'm not using.
Wow.
And to set them up and finally to actually have a drum set, because Eddie Foreman was actually the musical director at the school that I went to. Eddie Foreman is actually one that started me off like on drum lessons.
Oh.
Yeah, but I started in the 4th grade. But I basically it was a piece of wood with a piece of rubber on it. And I was on 1/8 notes and quarter notes and 16th notes. And I didn't care about that book. I didn't care about that stupid block of wood. All I wanted was a drum set. So for Pat to finally give me a drum set, I'll never, ever forget this.
Now, I'll tell you something real quick. I want to interrupt you because Pat Sis and I are still friends after all these years. We'll exchange text messages. We haven't talked to each other in a while, which I got to make sure I owe him a telephone call. But Pat is another phenomenal drummer and just a guy with a great personality.
Oh, for sure. And Pat and I've, over the years, have remained good friends, whether it's a phone call or text message. But I remember the first time actually sitting down and playing drums. It was to Dynatone's Live Wire. And it was absolutely horrible. I think my parents looked at each other and said, there's no way he's ever going to make it in a polka field.
Wow. Well, that's funny.
Yep.
That is funny.
But again, getting back to Eddie Foreman, I have to give Eddie credit because as I was learning how to play and finally getting better, the first time I ever played with a band was when Eddie Foreman let me sit in. And I remember Eddie said that he was going to let me come up and play. I was so nervous and so scared to be playing with a band for the first time and not be playing in the cellar to a live polka recording.
Yep.
I was scared to death. But
you did
every
it.
week, but I did it. And every weekend when I would go see Eddie would always let me sit in. And then he would either have Pat play piano. Pat also plays trumpet. So Pat would play trumpet with my father.
Wow.
But Eddie always let me sit in. So I also have to give Eddie Foreman a lot of credit.
Wow. That's great. Hey, you know, I got some other musicians on here too as well. Jason Flynn reminded me to say hello to you.
My buddy Jason.
Also, Kenny and Carol Michalski, they asked how your dad was, but you've already alluded to that he's doing well. They're doing well. Tyler Wasomski, Greg Russo, just a whole bunch of people. Nicholas Zachary, a.k.a. Nick. Everybody knows Nicholas Zachary and Nick Orlick. And, just a whole bunch of great people here on Facebook. We've got a bunch of people on YouTube. Now, I am also going to go off topic again because I just saw a picture go through of you, which when we get off the phone, you'll be able to listen to this interview a little bit later, either on Facebook or it will be there forever embedded in YouTube on Polkas After Dark. You can just type in your name, Dudas interview, and boom, it'll pop right up. But I'm looking at a picture that has come up numerous times of you in some fireman's gear. Are you a fireman out there?
I was when I lived in Hadley. I was a volunteer volunteer fireman for the town of Hadley. And then now, even since I lived here in the town of Florida for quite a few years, I was a volunteer here. I've kind of gotten away from it over the last couple of years. Because, again, working full-time, having a house, having a 7-year-old. And, again, I understand we all have lives. And I give all these volunteer firefighters so much credit.
Amen.
Because to be able to balance a life, again, your house, your job, your wife, your daughter.
Yep.
And to be able to dedicate time to the fire department, it's not an easy thing.
Sure.
And, again, the last couple of years, I've gotten away from it. But, yeah, I was a volunteer firefighter for quite a few years.
Well, I've got a lot of respect personally from my job, what I do, for all of the firemen, the police departments, the sheriff's departments, the troopers, the state troopers, everywhere. I mean, they're just phenomenal. And, I got to say this, we can't do without any of them. I'm sorry.
No, absolutely
a lot
not.
of this, cutbacks of this, and I'm not going to get into the politics of it, but we need every single person that we have out there that's able to wear the badge and to pull the fire hose out and, just address things. The medics, the paramedics and everything, the EMTs. Geez.
When you're going on a call, whether as a police officer or even as a firefighter, you don't know. Yeah, even though it comes across, whether it be a car accident or a structure fire, but you don't know till you get there what you're getting into.
Right.
And then you go inside a building and say the roof collapses, or you're at a car accident, especially on the thruway. God forbid you're on the thruway.
Yeah.
You don't know. Something explodes, even on the thruway. Somebody's not paying attention. There's thruway workers and even state troopers that are getting injured and killed on the thruway all the time, just because people just aren't paying attention to where they're driving, to what they're doing. And again, my hat's off to these firefighters, to the EMTs, to the police officers that, they're putting their life on the line every day. And I know it's probably everybody says that every day, but it's true.
Well, I'm with you 100%, and probably everybody in the listening and viewing audience is the same right there with you. Hey, do you have a favorite song that you like to play or sing? Do you sing at all, Steve? In the shower, right?
In the shower and in my truck.
Okay. Good acoustics in a truck. What kind of truck do you drive?
I've got a 2017 Chevy Silverado.
There you go. The acoustics in there are great in the cab.
Yeah. Quite a few years ago, there was a band, the Figel Brothers, I believe, playing at the Albany PCC, and they let me come up and sing honky style polkas. But as far as the Tony's Polka Band, no, I don't sing. In fact, I was talking to my mother this morning, and her and I were reminiscing way back when I was little. When I say little, like I barely remember it. But I used to go up with the new brass, and I used to sing Pia Cuba.
Oh, wow.
And there's a picture there's two pictures that I sent you. And the one picture, I have a microphone in my hand, and that was probably of me singing Pia Cuba.
Oh, geez. I don't know if I got to those. I probably didn't, so I must apologize to you for that. Yeah. But I'll try to locate them and maybe use them for a future broadcast or so. Now, also, let's see. So do you have a favorite song that you like to play when you're up there drumming?
That's tough.
That's a
tough question.
There's so many.
There's so many. That's a tough question. Probably a soft spot in my heart, because that's a song I used to play all the time when Eddie would let me sit in, would be Pod Mustem.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great song. As far as honky songs go, I love Army Days. Army Days, I think, is one of my favorite honky tunes.
Oh, wow. Now, out of honky style bands, honky guys, who was one of your favorites? There were so many. You got Stash Galanka, Stash Belanda, the Trelltones.
But even Eddie Blazonczyk, when the Versatones did a honky set, Eddie was probably one of the best honky drummers.
Yep, you got that right. You definitely have got that right. Nobody plays that style. People have tried to copy him, but nobody played drums like Eddie on honky style stuff.
And how many people? Well, I suppose people like you and I probably know, but how many people realize that the old Juan and Stephanie recordings, that was the Versatones, that was Eddie playing drums on those recordings.
As a matter of fact, we even have a recording that we play every once in a while that was live, that Stephanie was playing Seven Springs with a different backup band, and Eddie, of course, was there, and she says, hey, I want to bring Eddie up to play drums on this. And boy, I'll tell you what, when he got behind the drums, it smoked. And I remember back in the day with Wanda and Stephanie, it was amazing, totally amazing. But he just lit up that stage, and you're right, all the Versatones. Hey, can I ask you a question here? And it's a personal question. You do not have to answer it if you don't want to. But you have a day job that you make a living. Are you able to divulge what you do or where you work?
Yeah, it's not a big deal. If you asked me what my waist size was, that'd probably be a little bit different. But
good, as long as you don't ask mine.
Actually, honestly, and not to brag, for being 47 years old, I've got a 34-inch waist. So honestly, for being 47, that's actually not too bad.
I was a 34-inch waist about 10, 12 years ago, pal.
And it's amazing that I'm only a 34-inch waist, given the fact that my wife is such a good cook.
That does it.
But as far as my job goes, I actually work for the New York State Thruway.
Oh.
My title is service area mechanic. I actually work at one of the service areas as a wastewater treatment plant operator.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Interesting. So you have to do like a lot of calculations and stuff, don't you?
Yeah, I'm doing math every day.
Wow.
There's water tests that I have to do. Even the water, I have to test the water at that service area. Twice a month, I have to take a water sample down to the laboratory just outside of Albany, where they have to test for total coliform. So I have a lot of responsibility with my job.
Gotcha. Well, thank you for that. Hey, also, have you played on any cruises or
Yes.
any tours or anything? Tell us about one or two of the cruises that you
The
performed
first
on.
cruise that I did or played on was in 1992. I actually played with Eddie Foreman. Pat Sis couldn't make it. I believe at the time Pat was in college. So I actually have a video of it, of me playing on a cruise with Eddie. And in 2005, I on a cruise with Tony's Polka Band. It was actually a Jimmy Sturr cruise. And Tony's drummer at the time couldn't make it, couldn't play. So he asked me to do it. And Tony actually changed my life a lot, because I was perfectly happy in Hadley, Massachusetts. And Tony called me and asked me if I could do this cruise. And I said, okay. So once I did the cruise, that year I ended up playing with Tony full time. And through the cruise, that's actually how I met my wife.
Oh, wow.
And I remember being at the farm for a practice, for rehearsal. And I remember Tony's sister, Sarah, saying, oh, there's this girl that we know, and you'd really like her. And I said to Sarah, I said, anytime a girl says another girl, or says about another girl that there's nothing wrong with her, that you'll like her, I said, what's wrong with her?
Priceless.
And needless to say, we hit it off on the cruise.
Oh, jeez.
And stubborn me, I chased her for a year. And stubborn her, she wasn't interested. She didn't want to date as much as I liked her.
Wow.
And it was July of 2006. I played Severn Springs with Tony, and Brenda went with her sisters. And her and I had such a good time. And I had to leave, or I had to leave with the band because we had someplace else we had to play that weekend. And I left Brenda there alone at Severn Springs. And that was when it hit her, when I left, that, wow, I actually really like him.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah,
so
and
you guys have been married since 2006, is it?
2006 was when we started dating. I believe it was the following year at Severn Springs where I gave her a ring and we got engaged.
Oh, okay.
And 2009 is when we actually got married.
Wow, excellent. And your daughter's name is Sophie,
Sophie,
right?
Yeah. Zosha. Yeah, every time on Sunday when we're getting ready for church and Sophie's lollygagging, I go, Zosha, let's go. Little scrubby quote there from Live Wire, but it's funny.
That's
Zosha,
great.
let's go.
Man, I can't believe that we've been talking for over half an hour. Can you relate to that? Holy smokes! I've got two more questions for you, though, if you can answer these for me. And I know that you've listened to a couple of the previous interviews. I know that you mentioned Nick Nido and Mitch Biskup from the New Brass. But let me ask you this. Do you have a favorite breakdown story that you can share with us? Because you've traveled, a couple of different places. Do you have a favorite breakdown story, at least one that you can share with the folks?
It was probably one of the worst experiences ever trying to get to a job. I was living in Florida.
Okay.
And there's an older gentleman, which he since passed away, that had a polka band. And he asked me if I would fill in with the group. And, well, certainly. I wasn't playing with Ricky that weekend. I had a weekend free. I said, sure, no problem. It was in Pulaski, Florida, which would be equivalent to going to Pulaski, Florida. Just trying to think of some small little town in western New York that even GPS would be like, Where do you want me to take you?
Probably our house.
So, of course, at the time nobody had, I still don't have a smartphone, but at the time there's no such thing as smartphones or GPS. And I remember trying to find where this place was that I needed to play at. I couldn't find it. I was driving in circles. Now I'm on some back road. I'm not sure where I'm supposed to go, and I ended up with a flat tire.
Oh, wow.
Thank God, right across the street, there was some really nice people. I came out, jacked up the truck, changed the tire, and I had my cell phone with me. And, of course, conveniently, there was no cell phone service, so I couldn't even call somebody and say, hey, I'm in trouble. I'm lost. I'm going to be late for this job. I couldn't even call anybody.
Oh.
So got the tire changed. I ended up stopping at some convenience store. There was a guy in there that I was talking to, and I said, look, this is where I need to get. And he said, well, go down this road. I said, no, I will pay you. Take me there. So I followed him. The place that he ended up taking me to, I seriously thought I was going to get mugged. I was going to get robbed. That was where we were supposed to be playing.
Is
Driving
that right?
by the place, you wouldn't even think there was anything even going on there. I had actually driven by the place a couple of times. Lo and behold, that's where I was supposed to go. It was an absolutely horrible experience.
Oh, wow. That's unreal.
I would have to say that one. And back quite a few years ago, I played in Ohio with Tony's Polka Band. Got done with the job. The sun was shining. It was beautiful out. We got just past Buffalo, maybe somewhere between Buffalo and Rochester, and it started snowing. And it was snowing so hard, Tony couldn't even see where he was driving.
Oh.
I don't even know how we even made it home. So that was a pretty bad one, too.
Yeah, I hear you. And some of those snowstorms, man, they come out of nowhere, and it's amazing that people can actually see to get home, but there's so many vehicles that end up in ditches, too. During those things. That's why a lot of times they'll say, if you don't have a place to go, stay home.
Stay home. That's true.
Simple as that.
And again, working for the Thruway, I can see during the week people coming home from work, even though it's snowing out, but now you leave work, you got to try to get home. On the weekends, you would not believe, on the weekends, during a snowstorm or even just after a snowstorm, because I'll be out, I plow the service areas. I don't plow the main line, as they call it.
Okay.
You'd be surprised on the weekends, again, after or during a snowstorm, how many people are actually traveling on the Thruway. And again, if there's no place important that you have to be, just stay home.
Right.
I don't understand it.
Exactly. Hey, I've got one more final question. And the question is, what would Steve Dudas Jr. say to somebody that just wants to get into music? It can be any genre of music. They could either want to sing or play an instrument. What would Steve Dudas give as some helpful hints or some direction to somebody that has never done anything with music? What would you tell them, Steve?
Wow, that's a loaded question. First of all, practice. And that was one thing that Eddie Foreman just harped on me. Practice, practice, practice. If your heart is in it and it's something you truly want to do, just practice. As far as being a drummer goes, don't. Just play trumpet, play clarinet.
Why?
But it's like,
it's a lot less stuff to carry around? Is that what you're alluding to?
I don't know if it was my father that told me, is if you don't play drums and you play trumpet, you play clarinet, you end up carrying everybody else's stuff. So I suppose it's a no-win situation.
Yeah.
But that's a tough question. I suppose just practice, and if your heart is in it, it's truly something that you want to do, and unfortunately for the up and coming musicians, the work's just not out there that there used to be. Again, When I first started playing with Tony's Polka Band, we were playing all the time. God, I remember one weekend we played Thursday night in Buffalo. I saw you. We did the taping for Big Joe's Polka Show.
Right. I remember
got
that.
Got home 3 o'clock in the morning, went to work. We played a park job Friday night and then played Saturday and Sunday. I don't know how the heck I did it.
That was dedication, and you were also a lot younger than you are now.
A lot younger.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
But, for the up-and-coming musicians, unfortunately, it just doesn't seem like the jobs, like the work is really out there that there used to be. I don't know that there is really the bands out there that there used to be.
Sure.
It'd be nice if a group of young musicians got together and said, hey, let's start a band.
Well, have you heard Michael Costa in the Beat 3.0 yet with the new guys, the two Yash brothers and Sebastian Bukowski?
Michael is so lucky to have those guys, to have such young, talented musicians. Them kids are just so good. And I remember when there was a time when I was one of those kids. Now, here I am. I hate to say an old man, but...
No, you're not even close to being old.
Yeah, but, you just... God, they're so good. And Nick Yash on accordion, even Alex on drums.
Yeah.
In fact, me and John Sheplick were even laughing one time about Alex. He's so good. It makes me want to just burn my drums and just give up.
Either that or grab his hands and twist it. Well, no, I don't want to say anything like that, because then if something, God forbid, happens, it's going to come back at me.
He's so good. He's so good.
Yeah.
The Beat is just they're just such a great band.
They're on fire, and they are going to be performing live on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day in Independence, Ohio, at the Embassy Suites. Jerry and I are going to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then on New Year's Day, it's going to be the Beat and Polka family. Hey, listen, I want to thank you ever so much, buddy. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. We need to talk more once in a while, not just for an interview and catch up on things once or twice a year. We need to actually communicate a little better, and I've got to do that too. But Steve Dudas Jr., I got to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for taking the time this afternoon. Please apologize to Sophie, and also your missus there for me taking up a lot of your time today. I know it's Sunday and it's family day usually, but thank you ever so much. You mean a lot to me. I love you, buddy. We go back a long ways, Steve.
Long ways. And I just want to thank you. It was certainly an honor to actually be considered to be on your show, for you to actually consider interviewing me, and I was thinking about this earlier today. I'm not Mitch Biskup. I'm not Nicky Naito. I'm not Lenny Gomolka. I'm just Steve Dudas Jr. So for you to even want to interview me on your show, again, it was an honor. It truly was. And thank you, Robin.
Steve, I got to tell you something too. We have interviewed quite a few band leaders. We still have a few more that we're going to be chatting with in the not too distant future. But Jerry and I had talked, and she says, you know what? You're leaving out some of the best musicians. She says the sidemen, because they have a lot of stories to tell. They're personal stories. And I talk a lot with Les Kapuscinski up in Canada, and he and I get a chance to talk about that exact same thing. There's so much talent out there. You can't disregard that. So Jerry and I decided, hey, we're going to start interviewing some of the sidemen, the musicians that make these bands, and that really started it all. And it's been great.
And how many musicians years ago played in local bands, like my buddy in Hadley, Stanley Kokoski. Stanley, I was telling you, I used to work on the farm for him.
Yeah.
Stanley used to play clarinet with Stephanie. There was another group from the Hadley, Massachusetts area. I'm going way back. Eddie Podolak.
I remember that name.
Stanley had an opportunity at one point to play for Happy Louie. But how many guys like Stanley that people don't know who Stanley Kokoski is? And Stanley is a great clarinet player. But there's a lot of musicians out there like that, like you said, the sidemen. There's a lot of the sidemen I've forgotten about, or don't get enough credit, perhaps.
Yes, well, they don't get the recognition. They do get the credit because it's just like a sports team. It is a team. When the bands take the stage, everybody has to be firing on all 8 cylinders. That's all there is to it. You know that. Louie, I know that.
Guys like Happy Louie, Lenny Gomolka, Eddie Blazonczyk.
Yeah.
Obviously tremendous band leaders, great musicians, but without guys like Ricky Bernier and Jackie Libera.
Oh, yeah.
and Greg Glenn and Roger Fowler. Roger was, of course, the leader of the new brass, but also played drums at Happy Louie.
Right.
Joey Sokol. Without a lot of those guys, Leo Olbrich, where would Eddie, Louie, where would Lenny, where would these guys be,
Right. You got that right. Hey, Steve, thank you ever so much. God bless you. Have a very Merry Christmas and the happiest and healthiest of New Year's to you. And I love you, buddy.
I love you too, Robin. Thank you so much. Again, it was an honor to be on your show today.
Hey, you take care. And we've got some more tunes coming up. I don't know if you're on any of these because I don't know if I have the proper recordings pulled, but I do have some stuff by EFO, Tony's Polka Band, and so on. But thanks ever so much, and you have yourself a wonderful afternoon, Steve.
All right, thank you, Robin. It was nice chatting with you, buddy. Love you too.
Same here. Love you, pal. Hey, that was Mr. Steve Dudas Jr., and we are so thankful to have him here on Polkas After Dark on our broadcast link, also YouTube and Facebook. Here's Tony's Polka Band, a little bit of Getting Married Polka.
Jadę do miasteczka kupić pierścionek. Kupię złoto dla niebo, to na zawsze. Kochając serdecznie na ślub pójdziemy. Razem przed ołtarzem sobie stanemy. Orkiestra wesoła gra, wielki masz kraju. Jestem tak szczęśliwy na ten wielki dzień. Kawalerem już nie będę bawić się. Wielki dzień, kawalerem już nie będę bawić się.
That's the sound of Tony's Polka Band, a little bit of an oldie but a goodie, Getting Married. That song was written by and performed by Eddie Walensky, Weasel, and that's a guy we got to try to get a hold of too at some point and bring him on. I think that would be a very, very interesting interview with all the talent that he has. Hey, right now, speaking of talent, here's a guy that's going to tell you about the upcoming New Year's Eve event.
Hi, everyone. Jeff Yash here with my sidekick, Michael Pukowski. Here to update and remind everybody about our upcoming New Year's Eve extravaganza taking place at the Embassy Suites in Independence, Ohio. We will be ringing in 2023 with the best bands in polka music. Join us for a pregame party on Friday, December 30th, as Robin and Jerry and their Polkas After Dark go live in our Embassy Suites hospitality room from 8 p.m. to 12 midnight.
And again, let's go ahead and bring up the sidekick, which is Michael Pukowski, because Michael wants to let everybody know what's going on Saturday.
Well. After Robin and Jerry gets us all fired up Friday night at the welcome party, Saturday is filled with fun for the entire family. We start off at 8:30 a.m., with the first brisk walk of the weekend with Puko Yashu. Trust me, you do not want to miss this. At 10 o'clock, for those of you who signed up for Topgolf, we will head over to the Topgolf facility and have fun there until 1 p.m. For those of you who still are considering signing up, reach out to Jeff Yash for all the details. At 1 o'clock, we're back at the hospitality room in the Embassy Suites, where Robin and Jerry are back at it again, getting us ready for the big event that evening. At 3 p.m., we head back to our rooms, take a nap, get ready for a 5:30 dinner at the main ballroom in the Embassy Suites. And then at 7 o'clock, the two hottest bands in polkas, the polka country musicians and Michael Costa and the Beat, take the stage to give us a night we won't forget until 1 a.m. to bring in the 2023 New Year.
And on Sunday, New Year's Day, January 1st, we'll start the morning out with another brisk walk with Puko Yashu. We'll have a Catholic Mass and a polka yoga session with Sandy Earl. We'll also start the party mid-morning with a Bloody Mary bash and musical entertainment by DJ Bruce Z, spinning your favorite polka tunes. We'll also have a polka bingo session hosted by Dawn Rosinski and Kayla Rosinski and Debbie Bizon and Emily Bizon with cash prizes. That will transition into the hall where we'll be listening to the fine sounds of Hank Kusevich and the Polka Family Band along with Michael Costa and the Beat from 2 p.m. until 8 p.m.
Gonna be a lot of fun, and if you have not made your reservations yet, you have until December the 13th. They are going to be taking reservations. Also, there is a very, very nice raffle. If you want to get more information on that, please visit Jeff Yash's page. That's Jeff, Y-A-S-H, or Michael Pukowski, which is P-U-C-O-W-S-K-I. Michael Pukowski or Jeff Yash, visit their Facebook pages, and you'll learn an awful lot more about that amazing raffle coming up. Hey, speaking of coming up, here's Michael Costa in the Beat 3.0. Here's one off of their recording, The Reason. Here's the song called The Reason. Hey, we're going to say hello to musical Mark Swoger out in the city of North Tonawanda. Maria Blasting, also for Barry Nikolai, he's here. Michael Gartler, we're going to say hi to you, Michelle Vojtovich, and looks like Art and Linda Gaylor have joined us.
Reasons in my mind, somewhere lost in time, how it all began, a word to touch your hand, reasons I am here with you, believe in everything we do, my beating heart belongs to you, I would walk for miles till I found you, reasons for the day,
The sound of Michael Costa and the Beat, The Reason. And those guys are going to be smoking 2 days in a row. That's right. They're going to be playing New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So the end of December and the very beginning day of January 2023. And we're going to say hello to some more folks here in the chat room. Brother Tommy Hoke, he's tuned in. He's listening down in Uniontown, Pennsylvania. It looks like Mr. Ray Bajewick Jr. out in Cleveland, Ohio. Marcia Figleski, Marcia and Paul, hello to you guys. Susan Howard is here. We want to say hello to Susan and also Tim Howard. They're tuned in this afternoon on Polkas After Dark. Tyler Wasomski. We mentioned you briefly during the interview. It looks also like Tom Kozawa is here. I don't know if he's watching down in Florida or if he's in Buffalo at this point. Joe Rindak. Bob Zukowski. Gosh, we've got a ton of people here. Friend Rosanna. Let's see here. Who did I miss? Oh, I missed Larry and Patty Birdsey. They are here. I don't know if Sue is with you guys, but hello to Sue. And once again, it looks like Diane Ceremit. Diane Sims is here. Bob Gabalski and his wife. They are tuned in. So we want to also make mention of another event that is coming up this coming Sunday, the December 11th, which is going to be from 6 to 9 p.m. Polish Pride is going to be taking the stage over there at Potts Banquet Hall at 41 South Rossler Street in Cheektowaga for the Family Polka Christmas Party and Dance. So you definitely want to make a point to get out there. Everybody pays $5 unless you're 18 or under, because you get in for free. And that's featuring Polish Pride, who is Buffalo Nightlife Magazine's best polka band for 2018. Oh boy, we got so many great bands here. Hey, we forgot to play this yesterday, and we got a hold of this because Rick Beekler out in Wisconsin sent us a copy of this. And here's one that they got a chance to do. Here's one called Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. We're going to send this out to Kathy Graves. I don't know if she's tuned in or not, but this song means a heck of a lot to her because, Millie did a fantastic job over at Sportsman.
I don't know about a fantastic job. Everybody stopped dead in their tracks.
It was funny. It really was.
It was, because I knew it was coming, but the faces.
The band didn't know what was going on.
Nobody knew but me.
Oh, jeez, a whiz. But here's one called Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
Santa. As for me and Grandpa, we believe she'd been drinking too much eggnog, and we begged her not to go, but she forgot her medication, so she stumbled out the door into the snow. When they found her Christmas morning at the scene of the attack, there were hoof prints on her forehead and incriminating claw marks on her back. Grandma got run over by a reindeer walking home from my house Christmas Eve. You might think there's no such thing as Santa. As for me and Grandpa, we believe. Now we're all so proud of Grandpa. He's been taking this so well. See him in there watching football, drinking beer and playing cards with Cousin Mel. It's not Christmas without Grandma. The whole family's dressed in black, and we just can't help but wonder, should we open up our gifts or send them back? Grandma got run over by a reindeer walking home from our house Christmas Eve. You might think there's no
Hi, this is Ryan and Didi O'Grodney in Nashville, Tennessee.
And you're watching and listening to our dear friends Robin and Jerry
on Polkas After Dark.
We love you guys.
Now the goose is on the table, and the pudding made of fig, and a blue and silver candle that had just matched the hair on Grandma's wig. I warned all my friends and neighbors, better watch out for yourselves. They should never give a license to a man who drives a sleigh and plays with elves. Grandma got run over by a reindeer on home from my house Christmas Eve. You might think there's no such thing as Santa, but that's for me and Grandpa we believe. Grandma got run over by a reindeer walking home from our house Christmas Eve. You might think there's no such thing as Santa, as for me and Grandpa we believe.
That's one new one off of a recording by the Livewire Band, which is out of Wisconsin, and we are very thankful to Rick for getting that over to us. We thank him so much. Hey, let's bring up Michael Costa in the beat one more time. Here's one called All I Want Polka.
Christmas tree, and all my friends and family are here with me. As the snowflakes fall, the children go outside to build a snowman with a corncob pipe and coal for eyes. But there's just one thing that I am waiting for. It's the sound of your voice as you walk on through the door. 'Cause all I want is to be with you on this special day.
Hello, good evening to Mr. Eric Bukowski. Also, hello to Bruce Michael. And we knew there that Kathleen Vishneski Graves was hanging out.
Holiday with you here by my side. In you I hold my dreams, you are my greatest pride. On this Christmas day we toast the seasons past, and with each passing year we know our love will last. But there's so much more with you I want to share, and when I wake on Christmas Day I'll find you there. 'Cause all I want is to be with you on this special day, this Christmas holiday. For all I want is to be with you on this special day, this Christmas holiday.
How about a little bit of polka country? Here's one called The Dream You Lost Once Upon a Time.
future. I with you and you with me for the truth. You share your dream with me, a fresh and brand new feeling. I give you my love and trust, believing too. Like everyone in love, we had our share of problems, and I really thought that we could see them through. I guess along the way somehow you stopped believing in the dream that you had once so clear to you. We tried to work things out, so many things to say, but in the end you simply turned and walked away. And now I'm left here with my shattered heart in pieces, but before I go I'll say these words to you. I'll be the one who got away, the only one you can't forget, a reminder of the things you wish you could have done and said. I'll be the song that goes on returning if you cannot find, and when you think about me, I'll be the dream that you lost once upon a time.
Mr. Chuck Troiani, well, Merry Christmas to you and the happiest of New Year's, Chuck.
I'll never understand how you could stop believing, leave me all alone without you by my side. I guess we'll never know just how the dream will finish, how I wish that you would give it one more try. If you just took the chance, you know I love you so. We could have had it all, instead you just let go. Someday you'll look back on your life, fully regretting, thinking words I spoke before we said goodbye. I'll be the one who got away, the only one you can't forget, a reminder of the things you wish you could have done and said. I'll be the song that goes on resonating if you cannot find, and when you think about me, I'll be the dream that you lost once upon a time. And when you think about me, I'll be the dream that you lost once upon a time.
Here's one of the new ones off of Polka Family's new recording, and it's called Polka Road. And oddly enough, that's the name of the recording, too. Welcome to Polkas After Dark. We thank you guys so much for joining us here on a Sunday afternoon.
Packed up my bags, got my look on, headed out where I find a good time. Well, I DM'd my friends, now they're buzzing. How far you going out today? Yes, I'm going ham on the dashboard, playing my tunes, they make me feel good. I hit the rush on the skyway, my mind is thinking what the heck, 'cause I love the polka road, where I'm feeling free out on the polka road. Come and follow me, you'll meet new friends and see families from all across the nation on the polka road. Celebrate and come along with me.
Hey, we also want to say hello to Tim and Mary Ann Creenan. Thanks for popping in here to Polkas After Dark.
Just told my boss that I'm leaving, driving across the open byway. Well, I think he knows just where I'm going, out where I'm gonna hear them play.
get to come to the park anymore.
I miss this, Hank.
This is so nice.
You know
what? The holidays are coming up. We're just about Thanksgiving and then Christmas. What are you going to do for New Year's? Anything, you know?
I think we should go to a polka dance, Hank.
Polka dance?
A polka dance.
Where is there a polka dance?
I think in Independence, Ohio, there's going to be an awesome polka dance on...
Who is running this?
Pukoyashu.
Pukoyashu? Are those guys? Pukoyashu?
They're here. They are
Hey,
Pukoyashu.
here.
Hi, everybody. Hi, everyone. Listen, if you're not doing anything this coming New Year's Eve, Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Independence, Ohio at the Embassy Suites, you don't want to miss the big Pukoyashu extravaganza. Check out the blue flyer. They're everywhere. You don't want to miss it. The next one won't be till 2033. You don't need a date. It's a festival atmosphere, family, fun, and top-notch entertainment. We have 3 of the best bands in polka music. We have Michael Costa and the Beat. We have Willie and the Polka Country Musicians. And Hank with Polka Family. Make it a point to be there. Get your reservations in now. The deadline is coming very soon.
You gotta be there.
Yes, you gotta be there.
I'm never going on a swing again.
Decide which way to go. These empty miles and memories, they seem to linger on. She left me on this lost highway, wondering why and where she gone. That's how a cowgirl breaks a young man's heart. That's how my whole world slowly fell apart. As if I wasn't there, she didn't even stop to cry. That's how a cowgirl says goodbye. Called up her mama down in Abilene just to find out how she'd been. She said she stayed the night in San Antonio and spent some time with an old friend. With all the distance between us, I'm sure I never crossed her mind. And it may take all these roads I'm on just to leave it all behind. That's how a cowgirl breaks a young man's heart. That's how my whole world slowly fell apart. With a cold and empty stare, as if I wasn't there, she didn't even stop to cry. That's how a cowgirl says goodbye. That's how a cowgirl breaks a young man's heart. That's how my whole world slowly fell apart. With a cold and empty stare, as if I wasn't there, she didn't even stop to cry. That's how a cowgirl says goodbye.
Hi, everybody. Bruce Zamorski here, DJ Bruce Z from Bridgewater, New Jersey. I'm all dressed and ready. I'm at rehearsal
for the Bloody Mary party, which takes place on Sunday from 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. at the Pukoyashu New Year's Eve weekend extravaganza. I'm inviting all of you to please join me and my very good friends Mark and Jim of Pukoyashu Enterprises at the big weekend that we've all been waiting for. On Saturday, we're going to enjoy Michael Costa and the Beat, along with the polka country musicians. Sunday morning, please join me for the Bloody Mary party. I'll be playing all of your favorite polkas and whatever else you want to hear. You know, we're going to get down, we'll get funky, and we'll even get back up again. And then on Sunday, Michael Costa and the Beat, along with Polka Family. Please join us at the Pukoyashu New Year's Eve weekend extravaganza. Na zdrowie!
Do was panienki prośbę zaniosę, może z was która no i męża chce. Gdyby tak było, po jedno proszę, po coś wybierać, no i weźcie mnie. Przyczyło mi się samotnie życie, chcę się ożenić. I jest czas, same racje przyznać musicie, jeśli mam wisieć, niech wisie raz. Oj, w każde rano o 6 stanę, przyrzekam się, że robić to stale. Popiół i garbycz na dwór wyniosę i z papierami piąc rozpalę. Spać będzie sobie żoneczka moja i będzie o mnie mężu śnić. Daj jej kawusie i do wózeczka, żeby w wózeczku no i mogło pić. Stanę, lunch wyszykuję, bo będę musiał do szaty gnać. Moja żoneczka drzwi zaregluje, no i wtedy pójdzie i dalej spać. Koło południa nie dać, powstanie, odpocznie sobie po ciężkim śnie. Zje zapetytem drugie śniadanie, no i wtedy sobie do miasta mknie. A gdy już wszystkie cztery obleci, wyda na szmatki, a na rudzko, jak na szczyderkach, do domu przyleci, lecz pierwsze stąpi na picie show. Głodny, zmęczony, wrócę ze szafy, no i wrócę go, chciałbym co zjeść. Moja żoneczka mała sapu, daj mi z ketchupem, no i wózkę zjeść.
everybody. I'm Katie. And I'm Haley. And we have an important announcement for you guys. Now get out your calendars and make plans to attend the Pukoyashu New Year's Eve weekend extravaganza. When is it, you may ask? Saturday, December 31st, featuring Michael Costa and The Beat and Polka country musicians. Dinner is at 5:30 p.m. and music is from 7 to 1 a.m. Now, no better way to spend your first day 2023 by listening to Michael Costa and The Beat and Polka Family. Music is from 2 to 8 p.m. Deadline is November 15th, so don't delay. For more information and details, call Michael at 908-209-9843 or call Jeff at 518-281-1587. Hope to see you guys there.
That's great. And don't forget, guys, that it is actually, they have postponed that November thing. It is now extended. Thank you.
You're
extended
welcome.
the deadline to December 13th. So that's kind of nice. You'll still have a little bit of time to get your information in order and make sure that you get out to that event, because it's going to be the event of the decade. It doesn't happen again for another 10 years. 2024, I believe, is what, or not 2024. 10 years. 2034.
No, it turns out to be 11 or something because of the leap year.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. Oh,
Yep.
you are so smart. Thank you. Wow, what have I ever
That's
done
why you
without
keep me around.
I know. It's perfect. Hey, folks, if you're just joining us, well, you're late because we start at 5 p.m. on Sundays, and we're usually here at 7 p.m. on Saturday evenings. However, next weekend, again, there's not going to be any broadcasts because Jerry and I have a prior engagement. We're going to be hanging out with Chris Tansky and the folks at the Polish Falcons in Depew. So that's going to be a lot of fun. A dinner, dancing, a whole bunch of stuff. That's our Christmas party that we're going to be attending. And then also on Sunday, I think we're just going to kick back and take it easy. I know we don't have any folks that are going to be scheduled for interviews, but we will be having a very, very interesting schedule for next year, which is going to be totally amazing. Go ahead.
Nothing.
You wanted to say something?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Oh.
I thought of something, but nothing I want to share.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then here, let me
Let's
hit
play a song.
let me hit your mute button. Oh, gosh. Hey, how about another one by Polka Family? Here's one called the Open the Window Medley.
Otwórz okienko, piękna panienko, do mnie uśmiechnij się. Uciec mi serce swoją piosenkę i podaj rączkę swą. Open the window so you can hear me singing my song to you. My heart is yearning for you, my darling. I want to marry you. Otwórz okna, panienka. Daj mi rączkę i serce twe. Otwórz okna, panienka. Daj mi rączkę i serce twe. Hej, ten zegarze na ścianie, jak ci wskazówki wlekła mnie. Hej, ten zegarze na ścianie, jak ci wskazówki wlekła mnie.
You're watching Polkas After Dark.
Oj, prędko, tak prędko czas leci, wnet mi dorosną moje dzieci. Ja się starzeję, oj mój Boże, oj nikt mi hej temu pomoże.
Hey, we're going to say hello and good evening to Jill Arndt, also to Karen Hootie. Welcome joining us here. Hey, Mary Ann Buzinski just poked her head in. Hello to you, Mary Ann. And sorry you're late because it is almost 7 p.m. Eastern Time, folks. We will not see you next week, Saturday or Sunday, because we have a couple of events that we are going to be attending, but we will catch you the following Saturday and Sunday, so please be here. We also have a very special Kalenda night, which we are going to be doing for you guys. And so please make sure that you stay posted and tuned to Polkas After Dark for some information and announcements. Also on Facebook, where we will be able to let you guys know the exact date and time. We don't know for sure. We're pushing around the 23rd or 24th, if memory serves me correctly. Jerry and I have spoken. Hey, we also want you to get together a little list, if you wouldn't mind. Send it to us through Facebook, through a private message, and let us know what your favorite Kalenda song is and by the artist. Maybe you don't know the artist. Maybe you know just certain parts of it. But please make sure that you let us know. Send us a private message on Facebook and tell us your favorite Kalenda song. Hey, right now we've got time for one more tune here that we're going to play for you guys. And as Jerry and I always say, we thank you so much for tuning us in. If you've been listening in your car,
thanks for the ride.
We will see you again, not next week, but the week after. Here's a little bit of the news to take us on out. Here's a tune called Sleigh Ride. Hello, Chris and Sandy.